everyone. I'm Brendan Reedy.
And I'm David Coyer, and welcome to this week's edition of Leatherneck Insider.
In a year that's been unlike any other, sports teams have been hit hard by the pandemic.
The teams have been trying to get back into action, and schools including Western Illinois University are making daily changes to their seasons. Leatherneck Insider reporter Devin Brooks is here after sitting down with the woman behind making those calls on campus. Devin?
Well, David and Brendan, WIU's athletic director tells me she's having to change her game plan on a daily basis due to the pandemic, and she says those changes have not been easy.
The last 8 months, it's just really been a roller coaster of emotion.
Danielle Supernaut has been on the job almost a year and a half, but halfway through her first year as Western Illinois University's director of athletics, she was thrown a curveball, just like everyone else.
March, I had to do some very difficult phone calls.
COVID-19 hit, and Supernaut has been trying to keep the athletics department afloat.
It was at that point that we tried to reshift.
And that reshifting has come with tough decisions.
But it's definitely been challenging, a lot of changes.
One of the major changes was the suspension of the swimming and diving program.
It was a very difficult decision, something that we continue to review and revisit.
It's also brought a big blow to the department's budget, one that usually around this time is a big revenue generator during football season from guaranteed buy games.
You know, you can't continue to kind of cut your way out of things. You have to make larger decisions.
How much of a benefit are buy games to smaller universities like WIU?
Visibility for your student athletes as well, or your institution as a whole. You know, when you talk about playing on ESPN or playing on the Big Ten Network or some of those other majors, I mean, great publicity.
There we go. Supernaut says the department has already lost more than $450,000 after cutting some buy games, and it's projecting to lose out on around $114,000 from ticket sales.
When you couple all of those things, it is very detrimental.
Supernaut says the burden hasn't been so bad on paying for COVID-19 testing for athletes compared to how it started back in the spring.
Our initial challenge was testing and just the accessibility of testing.
She says the university's testing has helped pay and meet the protocols for games in the NCAA, but taking extra precautions have been top of mind to reduce any spread.
In terms of how you sit on a bus and how you're eating on the road.
Basketball players will be tested 3 times a week this upcoming season, but as you see the players out on the court, you won't see this. Fans in the stands. Basketball will be one of 17 sports that's slated to host games this spring.
Hosting 17 sports in a semester is going to be tough, but we're going to do it because that's what our student athletes deserve.
Do you have any anticipation on spending any other programs?
Not at this time. You know, I'm hopeful that we will have to, but I think that is not our goal.
Where do you see the athletic department a year from now, or 2 years, or a few years from now?
One of the things that we're really pushing is obviously looking beyond just auditing. So how do we help raise more funds? What can we be doing to bring in foundation dollars?
Supernaut also says the department has cut or delayed the hiring of around a handful of positions. She said staff are having to take on other people's responsibilities. David and Brendan?
So Devin, we won't be seeing fans in the stands at Western Hall for basketball this winter. What about once it hits spring and out at Hanson Field for football?
Well, as of right now, there's a 20% limit on fans for outdoor games, but as we know, guys, that can always change depending on the pandemic.
We'll have to wait and see. Thank you, Devin. Some club teams on campus are facing similar challenges this school year. The WIU Bowling Club typically travels Midwest to compete in tournaments, but due to the COVID-19 pandemic, they had to cancel their fall schedule. The team is still waiting to hear from the university if they'll have funding to travel in the spring. In the meantime, the 9 members meet every week at Diggers College City Bowl to try and stay sharp on the lanes.
We do bowl on a league every week, so we're at least getting some bowling in. We practice every Monday through Wednesday. Some of us may show up, some of us may not. That's the best we can do right now. We just hope that we can get going to some tournaments again in the spring.
Western Illinois baseball will have 2 new conference opponents starting in 2022. The Summit League is adding Northern Colorado and St. Thomas, pushing the league to 7 teams. The conference has just 5 members this upcoming spring after Purdue-Fort Wayne left to join the Horizon League. Outside the Summit League, WIU is still working to fill out its non-conference schedule to 2021. Head coach Andy Pasco says he anticipates the full schedule will be released soon, but one game that will not be on it is the annual matchup against Iowa.
The Big Ten has came out and said that baseball and softball are going to conference only, and we play Iowa every year, so that's one game that's no longer on the schedule, which is a bummer because I mean they're a good program, they're close, it's a fun atmosphere to go play there. So it'll be interesting the course of the next couple months to see what happens with our scheduling and how everything works out.
With how unpredictable each season will be because of the coronavirus, having a lot of experience on the roster could play a factor in whether or not a team is successful on the field.
If that's true, then the Western Illinois women's soccer team should be in great shape for the upcoming spring season. Johnny Jazurowski caught up with the Leathernecks before they head home for the holidays and is live in the studio with more. Hello, Johnny.
Hey, David and Brendan. This WIU team won't have to worry about doing any group icebreakers at the beginning of the season. 8 starters and 97% of the scoring is back. Western is trending in the right direction. 6 wins a season ago is the most since winning 8 games back in 2013. That experience will be important because there won't be a lot of opportunity for team building before the season starts in February. The Leathernecks are transitioning from fall camp to individual workouts at home. The team won't return to campus until January, and with the season moving to the spring, there won't be a preseason. Senior Jenna Lundgren says staying fit during the cold winter months is key to being ready to roll when the games begin.
We don't really have a lot of places to go play because indoor soccer is pretty limited because of COVID. And after only getting a month to come back, when usually we have like a month and a half, and we have all summer because it's warm weather and we can play outside. So it's definitely going to be a challenge. It's going to be difficult, but we have a lot of returners, so I think we'll do a good job of like keeping up the pace. But it is going to be hard playing the same team 2 times in a weekend because we've never done that before, ever. So it'll be interesting.
That challenge Jenna was talking about will start right away. The Leathernecks season opener is a home game on February 12th against Denver, the 2-time defending Summit League champs. Reporting live in the studio, I'm Johnny Jazurowski. Back to you, David and Brendan.
Thank you, Johnny. The IHSA has put high school sports on hold, at least until 2021. This announcement comes after the state's decision to move to Tier 3 of the COVID-19 mitigation starting Friday, which restricts youth sports from being played. The Illinois high school basketball season was supposed to tip off later this month. The IHSA board will meet next Thursday night to make plans on how sports can be played after restrictions are lifted.
Coming up next, we get a chance to sit down with the man behind Western Illinois' men's basketball virtual dynasty. Don't go anywhere.
Western Illinois University. Our beginnings in 1902 focused on providing affordable teacher education training. We've changed with the times and excelled through the years. Today, Western is positioned for the next 100 years and beyond. Affordability of diverse academic programs, outstanding learning opportunities, and hands-on experiences provide excellent job placement for our graduates. This is Western, forever Western.
Everyone knows that every sports team has that one guy that gets everyone riled up and everyone ready to go for the big game. But what many people don't know, that as broadcasters, we need that same thing. Brendan Reedy is that one guy that not only gets everyone just jazzed up, but he also has a personal connection with every single member on the crew.
RJ, my dad, let's get Big C, look at you. Boom. Thank you.
Every team needs that one guy that just glues everybody together. And for us, Brendan Reedy is the guy that makes sure every production is the best production.
All right, guys, 10 seconds.
All right, David. Calm, cool, collective, stay poised. Great intro, great show. Let's go.
I'm David Coyer, and this is Brendan Reedy, and this is Sports.
Welcome back to Leatherneck Insider. Imagine the year is 2033, and the Western Illinois men's basketball team, led by Cecil Sinville and Nick Cummings, has just beaten Georgia Tech 94-66 to claim their sixth national championship.
Luckily for Leathernecks fans, they have a chance to live that dream thanks to a national blogger and a video game made 13 years ago. Since April, SB Nation's Ricky O'Donnell has been simulating WIU men's basketball games on College Hoops 2K8 and is sharing the team's journey to the top with his thousands of followers on social media. I had the chance to sit down with the man behind the virtual dynasty to find out how he took a mere low-major Leatherneck team and turned them into a national powerhouse. So right off the bat, how did you come up with the idea to, create a coach and go through this entire process of trying to create that dynasty?
Yeah, well, I was a sports writer during a time when all the sports were canceled. I was gearing up to cover March Madness. The pandemic hit. March Madness was immediately canceled. The NBA was put on hiatus. So I was mostly just looking for something to do as a way to continue to, contribute to the sports website that I was writing for at SB Nation. So I had an idea a long time ago that I really wanted to write something about College Hoops 2K8, which was the last college basketball video game made by 2K Sports before the O'Bannon lawsuits and before they really halted the development of college sports video games in general. So I was kind of going back and forth on what to do. Should I just write about why I like this game? Should I try to blow it up into a bigger project? And I had the perhaps foolish idea of starting just like a dynasty in it, where you take, one of the lower teams. And my idea was going to be that I was going to blog through the dynasty. I was going to simulate every game, but I was going to control the recruiting and the coaching strategies. And that I was going to try to turn the worst local team in the game for me, for someone who's based in Chicago, which was Western Illinois, and to try to make them a powerhouse. So that was sort of the idea behind the project. And I started it in early April, and I never thought I would still be doing it in late November. And the game gives you 40 years, and I committed at a certain point to finishing out all 40 years. So, I've been doing it. It's kind of like my fun side project. And now, sports are back. The pandemic is raging more than ever, and my little project just continues to go on.
So you kind of just talked about it there. Are you planning to go the full 40 years, or do you think it's going to slow down anytime soon?
Yeah, I'm planning to go. So I will say that, when I first started it, I think there was quite a bit of interest around it. When we won the first national championship, that was in year 8. It was the first time I ever did a Twitch stream. I think 7,500 people watched at least part of that stream. There was like 2,500 people on the stream when I won. And a lot of people were just like coming from all the corners of the internet, and I was really hyping it up on Twitter. And then since that happened, I think, the interest has definitely died down, but there is like a core community around it. So we have like a Discord channel, and, it's the same group of like 150, 200 people on Twitch every week. And it's been fun to do. It's been cool to like make a bunch of new friends and to sort of have all these people engage in the project and sort of give me their tips on what they would do. And we kind of just go through it together. My goal is to finish all 40 years and stay at Western Illinois for all 40. I keep getting new job offers every year, but I'm turning them down. So that's kind of the state of the project right now. We just finished year 26.
Speaking of Western Illinois, you being from Chicago, have you gotten a lot of support from the Macomb area through this entire process leading up to that first national championship and after that?
Yeah, it's crazy. The following on this has been like truly international. Like I have a guy in Japan who wrote an ebook about our first national championship. And then, there's people who have sent me emails from Italy, from Australia, and, even among the core community, the current Twitch community, like it's people all over the country and really all over the world. But there are definitely people from Macomb who have, reached out, people who said, I went to Western Illinois, I love this project. So that's been kind of cool to connect with a bunch of different people and, people in Macomb too.
So your first 2 seasons in Macomb were a little rough, but then in year 3, you kind of started gaining a little momentum, Summit League champs, then making Western Illinois' first berth into the NCAA tournament. Can you walk me through that 3rd season, how you were feeling that you were finally gaining that momentum? Year 8, you finally make it to that national championship. What was going through your mind going into that national championship, and then you guys win the game? How are you feeling afterwards?
Yeah, I think we had 2 blowouts. We had a blowout in the Final Four and then a blowout in the national title. And I remember feeling like, this is crazy. This is really a strange thing that would happen. I was a reporter who was covering the Final Four when Loyola was there. So to then make the Final Four as a head coach, I mean, how many people can really say that? I think it was just a great performance by my guys. And yeah, they're legends. I mean, when you got a dude in Japan writing ebooks about you, I think that all my players from that squad, I remember all their names. Our star center was Deke Van. After the game, someone reached out and said, "Hey, can I make a T-shirt? Can we sell a T-shirt on Deke Van?" I said, "Sure, why not?" And now I got people who are sending me photos all over the world wearing Deke Van T-shirts. So I feel like our tiny little program in Macomb really resonated worldwide as a true underdog story. And from that point on, the goal became sustained success.
Now you've mentioned the viewership, you've mentioned the support with the T-shirts, the ebooks. What through this entire process has been your favorite moment from this whole experience?
My favorite moment has just been building the community and getting to know these people all over the country, all over the world, who have really connected with watching me simulate a video game from 14 years ago. And I remember, at a certain point in the project, I got an email from this guy named Luke, and he was like, "Hey, can I start, a spin-off project on your website? I'm going to do it with college football 14, NCAA 14. And I was like, I don't know. It's kind of like my newsletter, but why don't you do your own project? And he did, and now my community watches him. And now he has a big, successful sports simulation dynasty with Akron. He recently took the Wyoming job, so he took his 2nd job. So that's been my favorite part. It's just forming the community and, meeting all these people who before I, didn't know, never connected with, and now, we've sort of bonded through this project.
If you could go back to the start and do this all over again, are there any changes that you would make?
Great question. No, I don't think so. I got no regrets. We got 6 national titles. I'm not changing anything in my approach. It was a slow burn a little bit at the start, but we built it up to a good point. So I'm pleased with the way everything went.
You can follow along as O'Donnell continues to document his time with the Leathernecks at rickyo'donnell.substack.com or follow him on Twitter at SBN_Ricky. Coming up, the real-life Western Illinois women's basketball season tips off next week. Brendan and I break it down next.
Taking me home, taking me home.
Here, I engineer the future.
Taking me home, bring me back.
Here, I have countless opportunities.
Taking me home, bring me back.
Here, I do research.
Right here at Western.
As broadcasters, it's important to keep our image up. And with the rise of social media, we thought it'd be a good idea to bring in a coach to show us the ropes.
308 likes. Okay? Go to Dunkin' Donuts, they give me a pumpkin spice latte. I compare myself to a college girl. Humor is really important in your tweets. Got it?
Some people are picking it up quick. Others, not so much.
Okay, so here's what I got. I'd be kidding if I said that Sean McGuire didn't have a good game last week. And look, It's a picture of a cat.
That is so stupid. That's going to get you 2 likes. Your mom and your dad. And your dad doesn't even have Twitter. So 1 like. You know what? Get out.
Welcome back to Leatherneck Insider. The women's basketball team gets back in action next week against Bellarmine. And David, who are some key players you have your eyes on?
One player that I'm really looking forward to seeing this season is Evan Zarz. I mean, obviously, you got to love how she looks out there. Last season, she was the Summit League Newcomer of the Year. After leading the Summit, 9.3 rebounds per game, she looked dominant down in the paint. I think she's going to show that again this season. Preseason, second team, all Summit League. Accompanying her, I think Carla Flores. We saw her step up last season when Annabelle Grettinger got hurt after just one conference game. Carla was able to step in a starting role. She had 8.1 points per game, 12 steals, but she also had 2 assists per game. She's really good at driving in, tossing it out to the outside, and I think she's going to be able to do that again this year, especially with the players driving in down low to protect Zarz. You have some people from Bellarmine that are really standing out to you.
Yeah, Bellarmine, they got a lot of new players coming in. They had a very young team this year. Last year, there's a lot of their seniors graduated. They're only returning 2 seniors, and one of them, Bria Torrens, averaged 13 points per game and had 54 steals a season ago. She's their best two-way player, even better on defense. But the thing with her, the scoring comes from Tasia Jeffrey. She averaged 10 points per game and 37% from deep. But obviously, we all know due to the pandemic, it's going to be a shortened season. So, David, you had a chance to talk with Coach.
Yeah, I got to talk with Coach, and last season, 13 non-conference games to start out the season. This year, there's only 8, so it's going to take Western a little bit longer to kind of get in that groove, might even go into conference play when they're still trying to hit that groove. Here's what Coach J.D. Gravina had to say about the shortened non-conference season.
I'm excited. It's going to have a feel like these games, we have no exhibition games. We've had incredibly limited practice, and we will be definitely behind with, just getting some kids back from positive cases and isolation, quarantine. So, we're almost going to approach it as, well, we could be practicing or we could go play a game and try to get better. So I think you'll see like a bigger rotation of kids. I want to go out and just play really hard and kind of rotate our players a little bit more and kind of see what everyone can do.
Thank you, Coach. And obviously, every game has a different, unique game plan. How does Western Illinois match up against the newly Division I Bellarmine?
Well, what Western really likes to do is shoot from that perimeter, and with teams focusing, I think, on Evan Zarz this season, they're going to be guarding down low in the paint, and with players like Carla Flores, who I mentioned, who like to drive in, going to be drawing those players down low, opening up it for players like Sam Pryor, Kira Washington, or even Elizabeth Lutz to try and take those threes on the outside. What about for Bellarmine?
Bellarmine, they like to play fast and they like to play aggressive. But I know you talked about Evan Zarz in Western Illinois. Evan obviously averaging almost a double-double last season, 9 and 9. For Leatherneck, they'll have to slow the pace, get their shooters open, like you said. And it'll be interesting to see how Bellarmine comes out. They were 18-11 last year, 12-8 in conference. They lost to the number 1 team in Division II in Jury, and they also lost in the conference semifinals. But their transition from Division II to Division I shouldn't be as bad or as hard as some other teams because they have a lot of size in that team.
We're looking forward to seeing that matchup next week. Coming up on Leatherneck Insider, the Leatherneck Insider team tells us what they're thankful for this Thanksgiving season. We'll be right back.
With Thanksgiving right around the corner, the Leatherneck Insider team shared what they are thankful for this time of the year.
I'm thankful for my family, my friends, my boyfriend, and honestly just being able to be in school because of COVID-19, because I really didn't think that we would be here.
I'm thankful for my friends and families. I'm thankful for WIU sports broadcaster and the opportunities that was given me. And most importantly, I'm thankful for the man above.
Something that I'm thankful for is all of my family, being able to be around them for Thanksgiving and just being able to see everyone healthy and happy, and I'm just thankful that all my family is together.
One thing I'm thankful for is being able to meet new people from all over the place, and also being able to have an early on hands-on experience on my major study.
So I guess I'm just thankful for that we're actually able to have a semester, being down here with COVID going on. And I'm just also thankful for friends, family, and a bunch of people that I've been able to meet down here this semester.
Due to COVID-19, I never thought that I would be able to make it here this far. A lot of people have been sick and have passed away, but I am thankful for being able to wake up, walk, talk, and breathe every day. Happy holidays.
Johnny Jazarowski is back with us. Johnny, what are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for my friends and family, and that I'm healthy. What about you, Brendan? What are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for our production crew. They've been here all semester long, the camera crew and everyone in the control room. David, what about you?
Well, with this being my last production here in WIU Sports Broadcasting, I'm thankful for all the friends and all the memories I've made here and all the good times I've had working sports productions here, and what more can I ask for?
You're getting me emotional over here.
I'm getting myself emotional, man.
Well, that's all the time we have here for tonight. Be sure to give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram, and like us on Facebook. I'm Brendan Reedy.
And I'm David Coyer. Thanks for tuning in for the semester, and from all of us here at Leatherneck Insider, have a happy Thanksgiving.